Mixed media cards. Use up what you have. Coming up next on Catherine Paper Art.
This is a mixed media card that I made previously. It's a very simple card, just with ink smushing and then some heat embossed with embossing powder butterflies and a heat embossed sentiment with a black shadow and then some dewdrop gems. Very, very simple beginner type mixed media card. This one is more advanced, where you can see that I began with ink smushing. I don't know if you can make that out, but that's what I began with, ink smushing, and then stenciled over that. I then had another sheet that I ink smushed, stenciled over, and stamped, which are these pink sections, and tore that up and put that on. I added Tim Holtz Foundry wax, some stickers or decals, whatever you want to call them, some of the Tim Holtz Idea-ology Collage Paper, and then I used a stencil with texture paste that I had colored. I added some shimmer pen and then more splatter paint over the texture paste. And that was the base of this card. Then I have additional pieces that I'll be putting together onto it to make this card. And so I'll finish this up and be right back. I'm ink smushing a background for this slimline card, and I'm using a brayer to keep the ink very light and spotty, because I don't want it to just be a big swath of ink. So I'll continue to do this so that I get this speckled, spotty appearance. By using the brayer, it minimizes the amount of water that goes into the cardstock, and so the drying time is very quick, and as a result, warping is very minimal. I mean, there is like no warping to this card. It's kind of wonky because it's such a long piece the way I'm holding it, but there's really no warping to this. The last step I did was to use my small blending brush and hammer on along the edge some green to kind of knock out the white and to tie this all together. That is my finished card. Well, outside of the fact that I haven't chosen a sentiment yet. Generally, I choose sentiments as I need them. When I decide I'm going to send a card, I choose the card that I like, and then I choose the sentiment at that point for whatever the occasion is. Anyway, so I put in a crinkle gold layer between the mixed media card front and my matting layer behind. I think that helps set off the gold within the mixed media, and that crinkle gold is from the paper source, and I think it really helps. So I have a number of backgrounds and components that I made previously for mixed media cards, and I did some ink smashing, squishing on the glass mat with the brayer, and did some stencil embossing, and then coloring with the stencil on some cardstock panels previously, as well as using the collage paper from Tim Holtz with watercolor on watercolor paper, watercolor markers on watercolor paper to make mixed media cards. And so from that I have made a couple cards here, and this is card number 3, and I am finishing this up. You can see where I have added several layers onto this background, which again started out as just ink smushing on some Nina cardstock, just like this, same colors even. And then I stamped a layer of text with the Simon Says Stamp You Matter layer, and I used Lawn Fawn Fog ink, which you can barely read it, but that's really what I wanted. And if I get up close enough, you'll see that you can read the text there. And then I did some stamping with Rena K Color Pops ink, the blue, and I did secondary and tertiary stamping with that, and then used some of the foundry wax on it, and some transfers. So I will complete this off screen and be right back. And what I've done is I used the Waffle Flowers A2 layers dies to give this a nice clean edge all the way around. And I really like how it gives this clean edge. And then I just kind of buffed along the edge with some Distress ink in the peeled paint color, just to I don't know, tie everything all together, I guess. Just kind of finishes it off.
I did mat the third card after all, and if you've liked this video tutorial, please hit the thumbs up.